Hello, everybody, and welcome into another edition of Cardinals Weekly. I'm Ahmad.
And I'm Corey Miller. Another great week for the Cardinals. They keep rolling. As we sit here right now recording this, we're recording this on Thursday. They're tied for the best record in baseball. Not too bad. A lot of fun stuff to get to from this past week. Let's get to our weekly news segment and lead off.
So, starting off with leading off, we'll revisit the Cardinals this past week where they went 5-1, sweeping the Rockies and taking care of the Brewers. But let's visit that Colorado series. Nolan Arenado getting to go up against his former team where he went 4 for 12 with 2 doubles and a homer. And he just had to love that, right, Corey?
I mean, players try to how they always are. Every game is the same, and but Arenado was like, yeah, it was weird, and he wanted to make it hurt against his old team. Although he took his buddy Marquez deep, and he said, "I wish I would have got it off somebody else other than him," which was kind of funny. But yeah, he wanted to rub it in on the trade a little bit, and I just thought Rockies fans watching this, it just had to be because you got to see Austin Gomber pitch, and you're
right.
Like, he's okay, but this is the main guy we got, and we're gonna see him Arenado just go destroy against us now. It was a tough weekend to be a Rockies fan, that's for sure.
And to make matters worse, Corey, you led us right into our next player that we kind of wanted to talk about. We're talking about Jack Flaherty, but he took Austin Gomber deep. I mean, that's a big pill to swallow. If you're a Rockies fan, you're like, look, we gave up our best player, $50 million in cash for Austin Gomber and some no-namers, essentially. And it's like, you're getting taken deep by a pitcher. What's up with that?
Yeah, we got a lot more Flaherty on his pitching exploits coming up later. But, man, I think when I look back, this is going to be one of my favorite moments of the year because when those pitchers hit their first career homers, it's a special thing, especially because next year there's a very good chance we're not going to see any pitchers hit. When Carlos hit his first home run, he just went absolutely nuts, which was cool. That was a couple years ago. But, yeah, Flaherty getting his first homer off his good buddy, Austin Gomber. Was fun as well, and Wainwright looking like a proud dad. It was a really cool moment.
It was a cool moment, and I think that was the best part is actually seeing Wayno's reaction on Valley Sports Midwest, where he's like, are you serious? Like he literally just did that. So I thought that was really cool. And so let's lead us next to our next topic. That's Wainwright, and let's talk about his Mother's Day performance. Almost the complete game. He wanted that one very badly. But what does that say for him to come out and pitch the way he did after his wife and kids contracted the coronavirus and he had to step into that mom role just a week prior?
He said, yeah, this was a special Mother's Day dedicating to the game to his wife back at home who was still recovering a little bit. He dedicated the game to his wife, his mom, and his mother-in-law who came into town to help his wife recover like he was doing for that week when he was on the COVID IL. Just a really cool storyline, Wainwright's always going to give you a good soundbite afterwards, and to do that on Mother's Day with everything that's happened was just perfect. Yachty too. Yachty and Wainwright combining again for the shutout. Wainwright couldn't get those last 2 outs. Helsley had to come in, but Yachty hits 2 doubles with his mom in the stands, and his mom doesn't get to see a lot of games. So hearing Yachty after the game talking about playing in front of his mom, that was fun too.
I thought it was even more special to see his mom in the booth with his brother as they broadcasted the game. So just seeing that whole family atmosphere, and we all know what baseball means to the Molinas and what the Molinas mean to baseball. So I think it was an all-around special Mother's Day, and it was great to see the Cardinals top it off with the win.
And Yachty said after the game, they asked about because in their book, the book Benji wrote, they talk a lot about their dad and how he kind of molded them. But mom too, Yachty said he whenever he would call a game, he'd come home and his mom tried to kind of manage him when he was growing up. Why'd you call that? What'd you do that for? He said she doesn't like it when I strike out. So
or lose. She did say she does not like when they lose. Yeah, and we would all agree with Mama Molina. We don't like when the Cardinals lose either.
Oh, well, that Rocky series was a lot of fun, like we just said. A lot of cool moments, and it just got more impressive from there, I think. Even though just finished up a series with the Brewers, they lost 1 game, but they still won the series. Kind of had a little bit of a playoff vibe. The Brewers are in second place in the division, trying to catch the Cardinals, winning 2 of 3. Intense series. The first game, extra innings late. Goldschmidt homer. That one felt like a playoff game to me.
It did. It did. And then Tyler O'Neill following up with another home run. I mean, this is just a team that you heard all the critics say, well, they just beat all the teams in the bottom of the league. Now here's the real competition. And the Cardinals are like, all right, what's up? We're here. Like, just went 2-1 against a team that you guys thought was really good. Obviously, we know they're without Christian Yelich, but that series win still speaks volumes, and it gives them momentum heading into a big weekend. So I think the Cardinals are right on track. This is where everybody predicted them to be kind of before the season started, after they acquired Nolan Arenado. We expected them to be very competitive and to win the NL Central, unlike some other reporters and analysts who wrote those preseason projections, but we won't talk about that. But we all expected this team to be right where they are right now, and I think it's fun to watch.
That Milwaukee lineup is pretty barren without Yelich there. You tried it out on paper, it's not so great. The pitching staff, on the other hand, and the bullpen is just nasty. So good on the Cardinals, able to get a couple runs and get 2 wins out of there. You mentioned Tyler O'Neill. He's already got 7 home runs in 26 games. That's his entire home run output last year in a 60-game schedule. He didn't play all 60 games. I don't know exactly how many he played, but in a 60-game schedule, he's already equaled that in 26 games this year. What are we thinking right now if you had to put a cap on it? How many homers do you think O'Neill's going to hit this year?
I think if we go back to the KSDK Sports Plus podcast or one of our first episodes, I think we did some projections on who we thought over and under, for home runs. And I definitely think I said Tyler O'Neill over 30 homers. I just think if this guy starts in left field every day, plays 120 out of 162 games, he's going to hit 30 plus home runs. That's what we should expect. And now I think we see, like, with the strikeouts going down and, the walks going up, this is just the Tyler O'Neill is getting more comfortable. He's getting more at bats. And I think as he settles in, I mean, the sky's the limit for him, especially with all that power.
They're definitely committed to him out there in left, which is good to see. And I think he's running away with it. Cardinals let it get away in the second game, but game 3 on Thursday, Jack Flaherty was Jack Flaherty again. And man, he is on a roll. I hope I did my math right, because I tweeted this out and nobody corrected me. He's got a 1.47 ERA in his last 43 innings, which is all of his games other than opening day. Just 11 walks. He's only allowed 1 home run in those last 6 games, because he got a no decision in opening day.
Say 8 starts.
Rattled off 7 wins in a row. Cardinals player hasn't done that since Matt Morris in 2001. I saw great stat guy Ryan Spader tweet that out on Twitter. I mean, the dude is just locked in right now.
Oh, he is locked in. The way he was just a work of art on Thursday evening when they played that game. I mean, that guy's just putting his pitches right where he wants to be. And he said in his post-game press conference, that was really, really entertaining. He said, like, I try and live around the 93, 94 mile an hour range. He said, sometimes when I need to gas it up, I go 96, 97. Whew, that's a luxury to have, I'll tell you that. I mean, this guy, as you said, like, if you go back to the summer, right, when Jack Flaherty was standing up for he was being an activist, he was speaking up for women's rights, and he was doing all of this outside stuff, and he was in arbitration hearings and whatnot. There were so many fans writing him off and saying his best baseball that we saw 2 years ago when he was a near Cy Young winner, that's done. Those days are behind him. We should get more bang for our buck. Flaherty's not the ace. And then here we are, 8 starts in the season. The Cardinals are undefeated when he touches the mound. I mean, this is our ace, and he's pitching like it.
Only thing, and he'd probably say this too, just a little more efficient. So you go from 5 or 6 innings being dominant to 7 or 8 innings being dominant, and then you got something really, really special. But right now, hard to argue with the results.
And not to mention, he's getting a ton of run support when he pitches. He's getting a ton of run support. It was at 61 runs, I think, before his 7th start. Then he got a couple that game, and then some more today. So that guy's getting a ton of run support when he touches the mound.
Definitely making a bid for 20 wins this season. Something he said that you'll see in our Sports Plus interview with him on Sunday, which is really good. I advise you to tune in at 10:30. Just got done editing it up. It's fantastic. Really dives in on the work in between starts. He says that's why he's so good. He gets himself into where he needs to be as best as he can be, and then just trusts that he did the preparation right on his start day. He really works at his craft, and he got a lot of that from Chris Carpenter and Bob Gibson, as he'll explain more on Sunday. So that to look forward to, and also to look forward to for the Cardinals. More people are going to be able to go to the game soon, which is really exciting. Cardinals have announced more fans are going to be allowed in the stands capacity doubling with that Cubs series coming up on May 21st. Good giveaway on that series too. I might have to mosey my way down to the park for that one. Like that red jersey, like a spring training jersey, is pretty cool.
I haven't seen it yet. I'll have to go check out their giveaway list and see what days we need to apply for some credentials.
It's nice, and I'm really excited. We're going to get more fans in there for sure, because you can already tell the impact just 10,000 or so have had. If they get up to 20,000 or so, like they're hoping to do when they double attendance here, you're definitely going to tell.
I think we can all agree that Busch Stadium is just not the same without fans inside and seeing that sea of red. Like, although you see the sea of red with the red seats, it's not the same as seeing all these, wonderful fans walking around the stadium with their families, first time experiences, not to mention just the Brewers, just for the appreciation of a good diving play or a player who used to play for the Cardinals who's back. So it's all those aspects that we miss. And even all the vendors, the food smells that you get, the aroma surrounding the stadium. I can't wait for all that to, come back and everybody to enjoy baseball as we've always known it.
And they got a good team they're going to be seeing, so they're going to be even more into it for sure. Let's talk about, you allude to this big series this weekend, looking ahead, and we'll no doubt be talking about it a lot next week on Cardinals Weekly. The Padres, Cardinals going out to San Diego. Now, this was, I guess it's still a big series, but it was supposed to be even bigger, and the Padres have COVID issues. No Fernando Tatis Jr., no Will Myers, Jurickson Profar, Jorge Mateo, Eric Hosmer, they're out right now too. So a lot of guys out for the Padres. They're just kind of grinding through. They played a doubleheader either Wednesday or Tuesday in Colorado with just whoever they can kind of find to bring up to keep playing. But it's still a big matchup that we're going to be looking at for sure.
I mean, every time you step in between the white lines on the diamond is a big matchup. And I think we all know at the end of the year just how important these games are, especially when you're fighting for a playoff spot with a half game or a game and a half lead, so every game is important. I think this is the time where they need to pounce on these guys. They're going to be right at the top at the standings at the end of the year as far as the baseball record is concerned. And so you want the Cardinals to go out there and kind of bury them while you can right now, they're already dug themselves a hole with the COVID issue. Just put them in it, leave them there, right now until the next series rolls around. So build that confidence up, let the fan base in St. Louis know that, hey, we're here to compete with all NL teams and, be competitive. And like Jack Flaherty said after the game on Thursday, hopefully they can win a World Series. And I think that team is actually starting to believe that now. You see it on the field and you see it in their play and you see it in their confidence. I think they're all bought in right now.
This is the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year. So
exactly.
A little bit of that going on, and a team they could definitely face later this year in the playoffs. And we're going to get, they're on Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN this weekend for sure. I think they're on next weekend too against the Cubs. So national audience going to start seeing a little bit more Cardinals here, which should be fun as well.
Everybody deserves to see Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, and Yadier Molina, Adam Wainwright, Jack Flaherty. Everybody deserves to see those guys.
All right, it is time to go down on the farm again. Last week, we talked about the guy that Cardinals Twitter is just lighting up about so far this year in Jordan Walker.
Rightfully so.
We're going to talk about the other guy that Cardinals Twitter is lighting up about, rightfully so. And it's going to be a pair that I think is going to be special in the future. We're going to talk about Mason Wynn, also drafted in 2020, right alongside Walker. Shortstop pitching combo from Texas. Ahmad, I'll let you go first here because you've been waiting to talk about this guy.
Athleticism, athletic. I mean, these are things that you just love in any sport that anybody plays. And this is a guy who can do everything. I mean, he can field ground balls, he can hit the baseball, and he can strike you out. I think that's the future of baseball. We've seen Shohei Ohtani with the Los Angeles Angels be able to, go out there and just pitch 7 innings and then go out the right field and go catch some, catch a fly ball and then, get some hits. That is what you want because then you get more bang for your buck. You not only get a guy that can help you out in the bullpen and come in and give you an inning, but he can also pinch hit in the 9th inning, coming out the bullpen or something along those lines, So I just think it's a resourceful tool to have in baseball. And I think the more players like that, the better, because in college sports, we always see in football, especially, they recruit them to be athletes. They love athletes, put you on this side of the ball, get you the ball over here, so I like that. I think the Cardinals should probably be looking at more players like that.
So right now, Wynn's down at Single A Palm Beach there, playing alongside Jordan Walker. He's just playing shortstop right now, but they say they're going to let him pitch later in the year. Hopefully that's true, and they do end up letting him embrace that two-way role. Also, he's 6 for 6 in stolen bases so far this year.
Right, speed.
He's really fast too, and they're letting him run. He nearly hit for the cycle on Wednesday. Like you said, Ahmad, if Shohei Ohtani's pitching, I'm gonna watch that game for sure. And just seeing him do both is they bring up the stats, or they bring up the the boards, or first player since this first play. It's almost always Babe Ruth.
Exactly.
Like, are you serious? Well, Rick Ankiel's on this too, which is interesting. But I want as many two-way players as baseball can give me, because it's so interesting. Now, I'm thinking with him though, since he's a shortstop, I think it's a little different. And I don't know if any of these two-way guys could ever be relievers unless they're not in the lineup that day. Because just thinking about it, if he starts at shortstop, but then you want to bring him in the game, are you going to make him go run down and warm up? Like, what if his spot comes up? So there's a lot of interesting maneuvering that could have to go on with two-way players. But I'm glad we're seeing more guys do it, and I hope Mason Wynn can pull it off for the Cardinals down the line. We see him about 2024 or so doing both in the big leagues.
And one of our final segments, one that I thoroughly enjoy, because when it comes to baseball knowledge, Corey has it. All right. I can think I'm competitive when, where there's editing or anything else that we do, but when it comes to baseball knowledge, I don't want any parts of that conversation. I'd rather just call Corey and be like, hey, what do you know? Is this it? This true? Okay. Now, with that being said, I love to look up stats on the Cardinals every week and see if Corey knows his baseball and his Cardinals baseball. So we're going to start with this one. How many wins did the Cardinals get in the year 2000?
Oh,
yeah. Uh-huh.
Once you get into these, once you get into numbers here, you might lose me.
Okay, I'm giving you three options, though. I'm giving you three options.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
So 100, 95, or 90?
95 is the safe option right there in the middle. I don't think they won 100 in 2000.
This is why it's called Stump Corey, right? I want to stump Corey with these questions.
In 2000, I think in 2000 they lost to the Mets in the NLCS or the NLDS. I'll say 95.
Ding, ding, ding. They were 95 and 67.
I was going to say, I didn't think they got all the way to 100.
Okay, so you may know this. So you're a historian. You love the old baseball stats. So who is the first Cardinals player to hit for the cycle in the 1900s?
Oh, geez. The first? Oh, man. The first in the 1900s.
Making you think today.
The first person that came to my head was Rogers Hornsby. But, I'm going to go outside the box. I'm going to say Frankie Frisch.
The correct answer, Cliff Heathcote. June 13th, 1918. He hit for the cycle in 19 innings.
I would not have gotten that.
That's okay. That's way before your time.
I do know who the last Cardinal to hit for the cycle was. It was Mark Grudzielanek.
Oh, okay. Look at him. See, brownie point right there. He just made up for being stumped. Okay. And final question that I have for you. Name the last two Cardinals to hit a home run in their first major league at bat.
Oh, I like this one. The last one was Lane Thomas, who did it in 2019, because I was there. That was really cool. And they lost the game, but he was still fun in the locker room afterwards. Then the guy before that was Paul DeYoung, I believe, in Colorado. And
look at that.
Adam Wainwright also hit a home run in his first at bat, which was cool out in San Francisco. So Cardinals have done that a few times in their history, but Thomas
Oscar Taveras was close in 2014. His second major league at bat, he went yard in the fifth inning. So
yeah,
he was almost there. Yeah.
in the rain against the Giants. I remember that one too. That was cool.
Yeah, so you were 2 for 1 this week. Not bad. All right, not bad. You got a brownie point, naming the last guy to hit for a cycle for the Cardinals. So 2 for 1, not bad. We got to keep a weekly total from here on out.
I'll take it. That'll do it for this episode of Cardinals Weekly. We'll be back next week. Have a great week watching the birds, everybody.